guys, this is Jessica. Welcome back to my channel, The Retro Farmhouse. Today I'm doing a trash to treasure project where I take some old chairs and kind of recreate some new things. So come along with me today and let me show you how I do that. So I acquired these chairs from the burn pile, and as you can see, the bottoms of them were split. So a lot of them were just really unsalvageable as a regular chair, so I knew that I could make something different out of each one of the pieces or try to piece one of the chair seats back together. So I came up with a couple different projects that I'm going to work on today, and the first one that I wanted to do was a project with these two separate pieces. They were both almost equally apart, so I wanted to make them the same size. So I'm just measuring the seat here, and I'm going to take and cut a little bit of a piece off of the second one. That way they're the same size. So I'm going to take the leftover piece that I cut off here, and I'm actually going to flip it over. I like this wood piece, and I'm actually going to create this for the back. So I'm creating two little shelves here that I am going to be able to hang up on my outside wall. You could probably also use these indoors. So I'm just kind of going to create a more of a rectangle shape with this. Next, I'm going to take the second set of legs. I'm just going to glue those on with some wood glue, and I'm going to use my finishing nailer to apply some nails down into this. And also, same thing with the back piece. I'm just going to apply some wood glue here and just apply some finishing nails. That way it's really secure.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.
For my next project here, I was inspired by Jamie and Zeb from Jami Ray Vintage. They made a little video where they took some chairs and made a little bit different of a version of a plant holder. So I wanted to do this as well, but I wanted to use my plant container as a pattern. And I'm just kind of measuring around it and then creating my hole here using my pencil. And I'm going to cut that out with my jigsaw. But first I want to make sure that these two pieces don't split anymore. So I'm just going to apply a couple of boards to the bottom of this so that I can make sure that that holds together really well.
Jumping from cliffs so high.
To start my hole with my jigsaw, I'm just going to drill a larger hole in here so that I can get my blade to fit better.
Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground.
Then I'm just going to take my jigsaw and I'm going to cut out this piece in the middle. Now, since my piece is going to be sitting outside, even though it's going to be sitting under an eave, it probably will be subject to the weather elements. So I'm putting just a coat or two of polyacrylic on this. This is just going to give it a little bit more protection from the weather. I already like the blue distress look that it has currently, so I'm just going to leave that as is. Next, I had a bunch of these spindles left over, and I usually like to keep the spindles for decorative items, or I can repurpose them as a lot of different things, but this one just had a whole bunch of them, and I had this cool little idea I saw on Pinterest that I wanted to recreate with the spindles here.
Even if the sky is falling down.
Most of these were pretty easy to get off. All I had to do was really just twist them to pull them apart. But as you can see in a little bit here, some of these just would not come out, so I just went ahead and took my saw and just sawed the rest of it off. Next, I took these over to my saw and I'm just cutting these off into little slices in varying shapes and sizes. I'm gonna take those over to my table here and I'm just gonna drill a little hole into each one of these. The inspiration for this piece was a lot of the little wood bead garlands that you see as little decorative pieces, and I wanted to create kind of a different textured element with this, so I spray painted some of this with some white paint. Next, I'm gonna take my jute string here, and a little tip that I like to use is I put some tape around the edge piece and I just fold that or roll that all the way over, and that creates kind of a harder edge and that makes it a lot easier to put through any type of beadwork or anything like that. I did have some leftover beads that I had in my cabinet, so I kind of threw those in there as well just to kind of give it a different texture, and I'm just gonna thread all of these on in no particular pattern. I wanted to create some tassels, so I took a bunch of my leftover pieces that I had and I'm just gonna put those all together at one end, and then I'm going to take another long piece and I'm just gonna fold this in half, and I'm gonna loop my other piece through here in just a moment. Once I've looped this through, I kind of tie this just to kind of keep these all tied, but I also want to incorporate my other one on here, so I tie it onto my garland piece on the bottom. And then from there, I just take the extra piece and I fold both of my edges down together, and I just keep wrapping it around the end to give it that cord look. And basically to tie it off, I just tucked it up underneath there and pulled really hard to kind of tie it in a knot. Then to make sure that it's all nice and even, I just cut my little frayed pieces off and it makes a nice little tassel. And here's how today's projects turned out. I just love reusing little items, even these little wooden piece items, to make a nice little decorative garland. And I love my new little plant holder. I put one of my little plants in this already and it just looks really neat sitting out by my barn. You can do this with any type of chair that you can't really repurpose anymore as a seat. And it just makes a nice little plant stand. And lastly, I ended up putting these little shelves outside and put some more plants on top of these. These would even look really cute in like a bathroom or a kitchen. Considering it has that little spindle that goes across, it would be a nice little towel rack that you could add. But I love how this gives this kind of a little vintage look and it repurposes another item at the same time. I hope you guys liked today's project. I've really been enjoying the comments, and don't forget to also like and comment on this video. That really helps me out as far as with supporting my channel, and stay tuned, we'll have some more DIYs next week. Thanks guys, have a great day.